I think it's time we did an update on my weight loss and most everything, really. Hey, what's shaking bacon? My name is Bruno Panucci. I hope you're doing well. So I've been off YouTube for about a week. I went on vacation. Now, the interesting thing about that is I'm not much of a vacation guy. I've never been a vacation guy. For the last 20 plus years, I've been self-employed. I was in college for a few years before that. And I just never really had a desire to go on vacations. Vacations are important. Vacations is something that most people should do, even if it's a staycation. But in my situation, I'm a registered massage therapist and I love my job. If anything, I work a lot, probably more than I should. But it's because I love my job, it's almost like a hobby I get paid for. It's true what they say, if you do something you love, you won't work a day in your life. I'm gonna do a whole other video on the importance of vacation and time away from work and sharpening your axe. Anyone knows what that axe reference refers to is already gonna have an idea of what that video is gonna be about. But the reality is, I don't need to sharpen my axe too much outside of my day-to-day lifestyle because I love my day-to-day lifestyle for the most part. Another thing is I don't get paid for my vacations, so I'm not one to just take time off of work. You have to keep in mind, I have a very relaxing job. I work in a dimly lit office. I listen to relaxing music all day, get to talk to awesome people, and I get to make them feel better. That's one of the benefits and perks of my job. People come to me to relax. And I don't absorb any of that negativity that these people have. It's just my nature. I learned how to manage that years ago. I just know how to keep that stress out of my life. Long story short, though, I ended up taking 6 days off. And I did all my YouTube videos up until that point, but I planned to do a couple extra videos to make up for the time that I was going to miss. And I thought about it and I thought, you know what? No, I'm just going to take a week off of YouTube. And I'm back at it. Hope you didn't miss me too much. So when I finished my vacation, I was 2 months into my 3-month challenge with my 80-20 4-meal-a-day challenge. Now the 80-20 was calories from fat in 80% and 20% from protein. So I divided those calories up into 4 meals and it was pretty good. I did that easily on the vacation, but I also incorporated raw milk into my way of eating just because I can't get raw milk where I live. It's very tough to come by. You have to know people who know people. And I had that going for a long time a while ago, but I don't do it anymore. So it was a real treat for me on my vacation. Diet-wise, that's the only thing I added. And I compensated with a lot of walking. I did a lot of exercise while I was gone. I still did some weight training and I still did different types of exercise. And I really enjoyed this time away that I had. I'm normally not one for vacations. I don't like being away from home. Simple as that. I didn't use my vacation as an excuse to go off my way of eating. I brought a lot of carnivore bars so that in case of emergencies, I had snacks I could have that were already 80-20, easy to grab, easy to dispose of. There was no problems there. So I went to Europe and all the meals I had while I was there were meat, and really I discovered the joys of dehydrated bacon. I was introduced to dehydrated bacon and it was the best. I can't believe how great that was. I also tried dehydrated prosciutto. I'm buying a dehydrator. That's it. I'm waiting for a Black Friday sale so I can get a good deal on one because I can be cheap about things like that. Why spend the money if I can just wait a couple weeks and save a little bit more on it? But I did shoot myself in the foot while I was on vacation. I forgot to bring my hypothyroidism medication. So I really kind of screwed my metabolism up for 6 days. I was off my meds. And it takes about a month before everything balances out again. So that'll affect my bone density, that'll affect my energy, my sleep, that'll affect pretty much my whole metabolism. So my 3-month challenge has kind of been screwed up. When I left, I had a list of everything I needed and I still forgot my meds. My challenge is kind of screwed up, but you know what? I was getting to the point for most of the last month in October. I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do this challenge for a full 3 months. Not because I'm not enjoying it, but I know I was losing a lot of lean mass, and I can't help but stop and think that in January this year, when I was having a lot more protein, I had the exact same amount of fat on my body, but 10 pounds more lean mass. So my metabolism is actually worse than it was back in January. And I was like, you know what? This is going in a bad direction. I'm not going to keep this up. I am going to keep the 80-20 going because I like the way I feel doing 80-20. And I feel even better when I do small meals at 80-20 all throughout the day. But I think what I'm going to do is start adding 5 and 6 meals to it. I'm going to keep my protein at 0.7 grams per serving. But I'm going to give myself a new challenge. And I also have been thinking a lot about it throughout this challenge. I've modified challenges as needed whenever I've done a challenge. And if I'm not feeling good on a challenge, I'm going to tweak it as little as I need to make it more manageable. And 4 meals a day just isn't enough for me. Flat out, it's just not enough. I can survive off of it, but my metabolism isn't doing well. And though my energy was good, I really can't say it was worth it, because once I started doing more activity, it just wasn't enough calories for me. Simple as that. So the lowest I saw my scale go down to was 306 pounds. I have to admit, I balance off at about 308 pounds on an average per day in the last few days. So I am putting on muscle, I'm sure, because I started doing CrossFit this month. I really want to give that a shot. I've never done it before. I want to give it a shot. I know as a massage therapist how to do it safe, because there's just some CrossFit activities that I don't agree with. I don't agree with throwing weight around and using momentum in your exercises. It's one thing if you're doing it strategically every now and then, but it's not a good focal point. But in my opinion, as a massage therapist, I don't think it's a good thing to do consistently where you're throwing weight around. It's an easy way to throw your shoulder or back out. I've seen it before. I've had lots of clients I've treated with these problems. I just don't really agree with that aspect of it. I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but that's my personal and professional opinion on it. So when I do my CrossFit, I'm doing a modified version of CrossFit. So I'll get into more of that in other videos. But the fact is right now, I'm just doing some CrossFit exercises. I'm still doing some more weight training on top of that. And I'm going to be doing a new challenge in December, and I'm keeping my challenges to 2 months from now on. I might do a little bit more or a little bit less with some challenges. I'm always going to tweak as I go along if I'm not feeling good, if I have to try and fine tune it. But for the most part, 2 months is a good maximum for any of my challenges, and try and keep them back to back. So I'm going to play around with CrossFit this month and just get kind of competent at it in this first month. And so next month I can just fly with it and really, really challenge myself. The first month I'm letting my body and my joints and my ligaments and muscles adapt. So moving forward, I'm going to be doing 2-month challenges. I'm going to be incorporating CrossFit for the foreseeable future into my workouts. One of the main reasons I'm incorporating something like CrossFit is I think I have a very sedentary lifestyle. I really do. My work consists of standing and sitting, walking to my car and walking to the office, maybe taking a flight of stairs every now and then. My day-to-day lifestyle is really, really easy. I unwind at the end of every day, usually by 8 or 9 o'clock. Other than when I walk my dog or do a weight training routine, my day-to-day in between just lifestyle is very sedentary. I've always recognized it as low active, but I think I'm at a sedentary lifestyle, and I need to adjust accordingly to that, because that's a difference in how many calories my body needs. So I should be getting more weight loss. I should be, I'm kind of doing everything right. I'm being active, and I'm also eating a certain amount of food. A lot of people are focusing just on the diet end of carnivore, but they're not focusing on the health end of carnivore. And that's a real shame, because you want to build your muscle as you lose weight. I can tell I've lost muscle. I can see it in my physique. I can feel it in my arms and shoulders and chest and back and everything. I know I'm down like a solid 10 pounds in lean mass. So I'm going to be starting my new challenge in December with a bod pod. I'll be doing another bod pod January 1st and then another one in February 1st. So I'll get more into the details of what I'm going to do, but it's still going to be multiple small meals at 80%, just more meals. What would I say I've learned from this challenge? I've learned how good I can feel with small meals through the day. I felt as good as when I fasted. When you fast, I'm not a big fan of fasting because I believe in fueling your body to lose weight. Fasting has its merits, don't get me wrong. But for me, it doesn't work. As I've mentioned before, I have a history of gout and hypothyroidism. That's a stress on those problems, and it just doesn't agree with me. I feel good doing it, but I also feel bad at the same time. My energy's through the roof. I feel horribly cold all the time. My sleep suffers. It's not worth it. Quite frankly, it's nice to see some of these people who were boasting fasting for so many years on the internet starting to change their attitudes towards it, and it's really encouraging for me because that means they're leaning towards fueling your body to lose weight. But what's happening with my multiple small meals a day is it's keeping my blood sugar and insulin managed, which is keeping the inflammation down. So having more small meals throughout the day, now that I'm being active with CrossFit and keeping up the weight training, what's going to happen is I need the muscle, I need the protein to build that muscle. So you can't do all that activity without eating into your lean mass. That's always been the goal of this channel, is to try and maintain my lean mass as I go down in weight. So it was a good learning experience figuring out that higher fat, for one, works really good for me. And also multiple small meals in a day works really good. You know who else does that? I've been saying for a long time now, the people who have always known multiple small meals is good are bodybuilders, strongmen, powerlifters. What do they do day in, day out? multiple small meals. It's a great way to manage your insulin. You want to put on some weight? They do it through multiple small meals in a day. You want to lose some weight? They do it through multiple small meals in a day. They are the experts. They are the people who are on the front lines of this for decades, managing their diet and activity levels to optimize their body fat and their lean mass gains and losses. Sometimes they want to put on some, sometimes they want to lose a little bit. Sometimes they want to put on some of one, sometimes they want to put on some of the other. Sometimes they want to lose one, sometimes they want to lose the other. Those people are the masters at it. And this carnivore community went so far into the starving yourselves portion of carnivore with intermittent fasting. And now it's nice to see people are learning, hey, let's have more multiple small meals in a day. And people are seeing the benefits and rewards of that the longer they do it. And I find especially if they get away from butter and start using animal fats, they get even better ketone numbers. But the beauty of this is I found from the Facebook group are women who are premenopausal and menopausal. Oddly enough, I'm in that same category with stubborn weight loss, right? So I'm in my mid 40s. I've yo-yoed for years. I've been overweight for years. I have stubborn insulin resistance. Possibly my thyroid might be out further than I thought it was. So there could be a whole other issue there, and maybe even with cortisol. I'm starting to see a naturopath. It's going to take a while to get that ball rolling because I have to wait a month before I can get accurate numbers with my thyroid medication and my blood tests before I can get that tested again so that I can find out where to go from there. So in the meantime, I'm just kind of coasting for the next month, being active and setting myself up for a good beginning of December to get my blood work and everything done and handed in so that I can move forward on a good solid foundation. So anyway, thanks for tuning into this video. I hope you liked it. There's a link to my Facebook group below the video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.